You're back, and so are we here with the LCS. I'm still Captain Flowers, that's still Kobe, and we are about to jump into our second game of the day after that first one that truly was a banger. If you missed it, go back and watch the VOD. But for now, it is time to get into 100 Thieves going up against Evil Genius.
100 Thieves, we need to start with the change they just implemented in the mid lane. Demonte is out, and they are bringing... Oh, actually, we're going to start with their lock-in tournament stats versus their recent stats, because this is what led up to the change and led up to Demonte, being benched here. So they definitely were looking a lot stronger. The meta was different. Twisted Fate, he's still undefeated on for Demonte, and Galio. These are the two things people always refer to, the roaming here for him. And they've made this change in the mid lane, now actually switching over to more control mages. I would predict that it's going to be Azir or Syndra picks or the like here for 100 Thieves now moving forward. Because over the last few weeks, that sort of change in the meta has really been a difficulty for them. They have stumbled in changing their style away from some of the more roam heavy into some of the more control mage heavy style. Now, for Ryoma specifically, like I'm talking about, he actually has had quite good stats in Academy. His damage numbers have been great. His KDA has been great. Those are the stats you want to look for when you're looking at a control mage player to come in. His last 4 games have been on Azir, Syndra. So it's very clear why they're slotting him in here. I think there really can only be one reason, and is that shift in play style that they want to go for. There is going to be a debate, obviously around taking out Demonte. Because a lot of people still behind him, but you have to say Ryoma has been performing on these specific champions and this specific style, which they have struggled to adapt to.
And, obviously, if he's got good results showing up in Academy, that is a great thing. But then the test becomes entirely different. Dominating in Academy can often be akin to acing everything on the homework. You walk into class, you sit down at your desk, you open the test. I didn't study any of this. So we're going to see if Ryoma was truly a diligent student or if the test is going to get the better of him, because Evil Geniuses are not a team to be caught sleeping either. This is a squad that also had some pretty impressive performances back in lock-in. They've also not been quite up to the same level recently. So for both of these teams that are currently in the top half of the standings, I would love to see a bit of a resurgence here in the past couple of weeks and looking to their best possible form, moving closer and closer to playoffs. So let's see what the bans look like. It's Hecarim, Udyr, and Sion all banned away here as our first 3.
And while it is also going to be difficult, 100 Thieves implementing a new player, switching over to Ryoma, adjusting how they're going to play, at least he was told 3 days in advance that he's going to have this test. So it's not a pop quiz. And they're like, okay,
that's good.
We're putting you into practice. Yeah, we're putting you in there. We got you a tutor, 3 days. We're going to have cram study sessions here. Ryoma, 3 days of practice with the 100 Thieves squad. And they evaluated, Papa Smithy tweeted out, he's been in the Reddit threads answering how, Ryoma has performed well with them in practice. So they have some proof as far as internal testing with the changes. And like you're saying, we do need to see it, though, on the LCS stage. Very different circumstances than taking your practice test at home.
Yes.
Skarner first pick, lock in. You got to be way happier already than the last champ select.
Oh, this is so much better. Skarner's beautiful face don't belong down there in the band section. He belongs right there, first and foremost. First pick, blue side. 100 Thieves are after my own heart on this one. So Closer will be piloting that Skarner here today. Let's see what Evil Geniuses want to pick against that. Hovering over the rel, very powerful champion for a very good while now. Pretty much evergreen in whatever sort of comp or situation you want to draft it into. She seems to just fit with everything. So Evil Geniuses are not shy about picking that one up in response.
Too, Evil Geniuses are definitely the type of team to have Dazuke take a kill pressure counter matchup into control mage. No matter which way the meta is going, he'll be happy to play like an Echo into that Syndra. He'll be happy to look for side lane pressure later on for the team. I really want to see how EG are going to approach what seems to be a telegraphed change in their roster from 100 Thieves. And if you're first pick in Skarner, that's just going to solidify what you're going for there, because Skarner operates in teamfight compositions, looking for picks for people, shutting down assassins, shutting down, melee carries pretty effectively. And no surprise here for 100 Thieves. They fall right up there with the Orianna for Ryoma. Do like the Renekton pick for someday on top side, so that they will have some lanes that are pushing. They aren't going to take a whole bunch of scaling and just be, all defensive in nature for the early game. Someday definitely can be a point of power for them. As far as the Mundo, it is going to be Jungle Mundo. First clear, you can get a little bit low, but his clear is so quick. This is one of the junglers that people started testing in answer to the power clear meta when Udyr was at his heights. On live, some of the Phoenix damage was taken down from Udyr. Mundo actually clears faster than him now. Mundo's clear is insane, and he is one of the ones that can definitely keep pace with the best. So that is what Svenskeren shall be aiming for here.
Also important, Mundo is one of those champions. Not a lot of people know this. In case you missed it from the previous week, don't worry. I won't let you sleep on Skarner. Is one of the champions that can beat Skarner on his Spire. Mundo's damage is so incredibly high between percent HP on cleavers and his auto increasing powers on his E. He beats Skarner on top of Spire.
Masochism.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult for Skarner to fight him on the Spire. It's very, very challenging to have to deal with that champion, and particularly if Skarner doesn't max Q, which based on the 3 champions that are already picked on Evil Geniuses, you max Q this game. I'm telling you right now, not maxing Q here is grief. Max Q this game, so you have a chance at fighting him, but in general, his damage is just way too high. It doesn't work. Also, let's get into the second half of the bans now. We're not going to get lost on Skarner Road until later. We've got Syndra and Ryze banned away. 100 Thieves targeting the mid lane pool, recognizing they have their mid laner, their opponents do not. Let's make life a little bit easier here for Ryoma in this first LCS game. And on the other side, it's Thresh and Tristana banned away. Thresh, a powerful support just in general against melee-heavy compositions. Tristana is just OP right now, so taking that off the table makes a lot of sense. Kai'Sa locked in for Evil Geniuses. Immediate response in the AD carry slot from 100 Thieves is Xayah with Alistar right next to her.
Kai'Sa, one of the few AD carries that actually can deal very effectively with the Rel engage. Really good self-peel for him. Alistar, as we said in the previous game, we've seen supports now much more dialed in on the timings for interrupting Rel as well, getting those knockups. There's the echo that we were looking for, Flowers.
Okay.
Never afraid to throw it down. I love it. It is going to mean that they do want more vision around mid, though, because if Echo goes in, even though you do get your speed boost off of proccing your passive for your trades in lane, if Skarner is there, that can be an easy turnaround. And Mundo doesn't set up a whole lot for Echo as far as the mid 2v2 going on. Cleavers are really good in getting the slow so that you can then land your parallel convergence and hope that they're in. But it's very tricky. That is by no means a guaranteed combination for them to be able to pull off. And Echo's trading pattern does, rely pretty heavily on having that jungler advantage, that kill pressure advantage, so that Orianna doesn't know, if the all-in attempts really have bite behind them or not. Echo can go into a more defensive, style of laning and just throwing out the Qs. But would definitely like to go for a more aggressive look as far as trading. And I have to say, I'm looking at supports, honestly. With these two junglers in the game, I really want to hyper-focus on supports roaming mid. Because that has been one of the big things, LEC and LPL both. The best supports, we've seen such high impact from supports roaming mid with Leona, with Rel, with Alistar, all of these types of melee champions that can really affect those matchups as well.
Well, here we go. Second match of the day. First one was very, very spicy, so hopefully that sets the trend moving forward. I can tell you already, we got Battlecast Skarner because of the way the spires are organized. They look like those little radio towers there if he's Battlecast. Excellent skin choice,
crystal.
my friend. Always
I like the crystal skin.
So my favorite one is the Cosmic, the most recent one. That one is
Cosmic, there you go.
That one has such incredible visual and audio design. Like, my applause to the skins team. Like, that one is just immaculate. I love it. Plus, it has 8 chromas, so that skin with all of the chromas put together is more than all of the other ones combined. It's okay. Next time we get a Skarner skin 6 years from now, it'll probably have chromas too, so then we're going to double it again. But until then, we're sticking with what we got, and Skarner's got some good ones. Closer is going for that battle cast. Skarner got the phase rush ready to go here in the jungle, running what looks like Inspiration Runes as his secondary. That is a favorite of mine. I think that Inspiration Runes secondary are not run enough on Skarner in favor of other options. I like Inspiration a lot, so excited to see this one. And we'll see how this plays out. Again, because people still disagree on which abilities to max on Skarner, I can tell you right now, based on the fact that there are 4 melee opponents, I'm counting Gnar as melee because in a team fight he wants to be Mega Gnar every single time. You want to max Q in this game. Not maxing Q in this game is a grief. We need to see Q max from Closer for maximum clear speed on all his camps, for better dueling potential in small skirmishes, and for maximum DPS uptime against short-range opponents in team fights. It checks every single box, and it's what I want to be seeing. But for now, we're going to see both junglers start on the bottom side of the map, clear towards the top side, and maybe that'll turn into some PvP around this top side Scuttle Crab, Kobe.
Well, I got to follow up for you then, Mr. Skarner aficionado. When you go Inspiration Secondary, do you go Hex Flash? Because Closer does.
Hex Flash is a very interesting option that can create a lot of fun moments. I usually go free-ass boots instead, because I'm just going to be real with you, I forget that I have Hex Flash. I forget to use it because I'm not used to playing with it. My brain is not large. There's a reason that I'm a talk fast man and not a say smart things man. So I play around my own brain. But Hex Flash is very, very interesting for a lot of champions like Skarner that can use it over things like the Wraith Camp wall to make a flash ult play on the enemy mid laner. Impact losing against Someday here in these 1v1 trades. Someday maintaining control here with the Renekton. Gets the first part of the slice, doesn't go for the dice, doesn't want to end up taking a turret shot and being outplayed from Impact there. So erring on the side of caution against the mini Gnar.
And here's my look on the Hex Flash. I also really, really love it anytime you have a champion that is going to run phase rush. We saw in the old days of the set supports, you know, running phase rush all the time and set being so popular. Hex Flash there is critical to that champion's identity, and you get so much out of it because if you're going phase rush, then that also means you are going Nimbus Cloak, and you're going to get more speed out of using it as well. So you can use it to jump low walls, like you're saying. You can also use it for any little burst in speed.
Ooh, definitely losing half HP down here in the 2v2. FBI and Huhi doing a good job keeping control over this bottom lane. Very slight farm lead. Definitely, of course, has the opportunity to tie that one right back up with a couple of minions underneath the tier 1 here. Back in the mid lane, Ryoma versus Jizuke. Closer's up here in the top half of the map. He'll grab that Scuttle Crab. You can see the same thing being attempted here in the bottom side river by Sven So both of these guys should be just about the same state here. You can see 28 farm versus 28 as that crab is picked up. Closer gets the slightly faster recall, immediately backing for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Such a powerful rush for these champions that love to have early ability haste, that are very dependent on movement speed because they don't have movement abilities. Always feels good to get that on first back.
I also want to call out Someday's movement there. After pushing the first 3 waves in onto Gnar, goes on a roam through the enemy jungle super, super deep. And when a top laner goes off the map like that, you just saw Jizuke have to play a little bit more back on Echo, used his teleport back out. He then, as soon as Renekton shows up once again, can play aggressively again, and he goes for hard shoving the wave and has done a natural recall here. But that little bit of pressure that Someday applies also to the mid lane matchup, just by going into the fog of war after pushing lane on top side, does help tweak it a little bit as well. You know, as we were talking about in Champ Select, we have our eyes on supports trying to get those roams off towards mid. Same thing goes, you know, here for Renekton, as Someday did a pretty good job of using his advantage early to push in and then get a little mini roam off.
Checking the gold, we're not seeing huge advantages earned anywhere here early on by just natural farming leads in one role versus another here in lane. Everybody's pretty close overall. Bottom lane's still going to keep telling the same story, it looks like, for now. Total gold, it's actually Sven the Mundo. The richest man on the map is big and purple, and he goes where he pleases. He's got the Bomby Cinder already in inventory. Talked a little bit last game when we saw the Kim tank on the Shen in the top side, how powerful this item is for playmaking, for tanks, for initiators, but we don't have time for that because here in the mid lane, Jizuke is down to 200 HP. Ryoma's going for the kill here in the 1v1, gets the ulti out of the Echo, and Jizuke is forced to retreat.
Honestly, I do like trading Shockwave for Echo Ultimates early game whenever you can, because it takes away so much of the possibilities here for Jizuke, makes him a lot more vulnerable. And the early game Shockwaves aren't really as devastating as you're used to seeing later on in the game. It scales a lot better. So EG here, Svenskeren is taking the opportunity after the mid interaction here to fix up this dragon. No problem for Mundo. And you just called him out as being the gold leader. I'm not kidding about this clear speed for Mundo. This guy
scary.
clears. This guy definitely burns through him.
It's scary stuff with that Cinder to help clear out the extra little guys in the camps to make it so the AoE just gets it done, combined with his W, just focusing on those large targets with the enchanted autos after he uses the masochism plus the percent HP cleavers. It's no wonder why this man is clearing through the jungle at record pace. But 7 minutes into the game, we're still 0-0, Kobe. Where are we expecting to see the action? Where's First Blood gonna go down?
I mean, we had our eyes on mid as far as people roaming there. Since we haven't got a lot of roams towards mid, then it's wherever these supports are, right? Rel and Alistar are the two that create most of the action here. Impact's flash is blown right now, though, so this could be a target 400 Thieves if they want to apply some more pressure. Impact, you can see already kind of defaulting back to defensive Gnar play because his flash was blown previously. He does have to worry about Skarner flashing in there on him. Mini Gnar or not, you try and jump off of Skarner's head, you get a stinger right in your face, and you're not jumping back off.
You will have a bad time indeed, as Ryoma loses half his HP instantly there to the trade from Jizuke, and the stun lasts long enough that he can't get anything back. Now, Closer does show up here in the mid lane, but Jizuke still has his ulti ready to go, so it's not like he's super afraid of this. Skarner can just walk at him menacingly, but he's pretty much all right with this state of things.
Yeah, definitely at a very stable state now too, because he can just fire off the Qs, annihilates the back wave pretty easily, with just a couple of those. Snaps right on through. Impacts here after they did get a little bit of vision there down towards the river, able to push up as well. Turns into Mega, and Svenskeren blast coning right over the top to finish off that control ward. Does get side of Closer, so there shouldn't be a surprise, but Impact's mini now.
Oh, it's a whole 2v2 breaking out. The stuns and the damage and the CC are rolling in. 100 Thieves grabbing the first blood. 100 Thieves grabbing the second. Mundo farms fast, but he dies faster. Closer grabs the kill there. It is 1 kill for him, 1 kill for Someday, and 100 Thieves take that fight.
They're trying to hit the panic button as soon as they got that vision. Svenskeren, oh, here we go.
Oh, but a beautiful follow-up here in the mid lane. Let's see if they can get the kill onto Jizuke now. No, they will not. Jizuke, he wins out in the 1v1 there against Ryoma, but with who he's showing up to follow up, they end up forcing away Jizuke's flash as well. Rift Herald secured by Closer here in the top half of the river as the prize for the top lane 2v2, and he'll have all 4 minutes to use that wherever he wants.
All right, let's look at the exact timing they get vision of this Skarner here, because he's got it right now. So they have vision, and Impact knows he's going mini Gnar. Okay, so as soon as they got vision, he tried to start running away, but as we said, no flash transforming back into mini, there's no chance of getting out. Really good collapse from Closer here to go punish the flashless mini Gnar and get that kill for Someday. He's also going, by the way, he's just rushing the Prowler's Claw. Last time around, we saw Someday transition later, selling off the mythic item and then buying a late game Prowler's Claw, but Someday's going right into Prowler's Claw here. So he can use that for the extra dash to get in on Mini Gnar. He really wants to make Impact feel the pain.
That's so scary as a Gnar into that matchup as well, knowing that now he has 3 dashes to get on top of you, one of which gives him a damage amplification. People sometimes forget that about Prowler's Claw. Yes, it does damage when you dash on top of them, but it also amps all damage thereafter. So a super powerful opening to make things happen there in a trade against a vulnerable opponent. Now, Evil Genius is down a little bit over 1,000 gold. They did get themselves the first Drake of the game, so at least that's a bit of a consolation prize. But the big question I'm wondering right now, Kobe, Closer still has that Rift Herald in inventory, still over half the time remaining on it. I want to see where 100 Thieves decides to drop this and how they can get the maximum value for it.
I've been looking top lane again here. Actually, Impact's flash is coming right back off cooldown, so he should be a lot more safe in that area. Maybe they try and pull something off towards mid and try and get some mid pressure then with Jizuke starting to actually get zoned off by Ryoma, and now even baited in a little.
Okay, Jizuke immediately chrono breaking right back into Huhi's embrace. Yes, he stays alive for now, but a good Skarner ulti's gonna keep him locked down through the stun. Svenskeren shows up to try to grab something after the fact, but he's too little too late. Thrown up into the air, juggled around, CC coming down. Svenskeren is tanky enough to get away, but it's 100 Thieves who have more bodies on the scene faster, and they're the ones getting the kill.
It's kind of funny to keep seeing Svenskeren on Mundo keep going up, to these fights with his solo laners after they're getting caught and they're in a bad position. He's like, I'm here. I can't really save you, but I'm trying.
I'm
to
here for
slow
moral
them."
support, bro.
Yeah, it does go down. This does mean they start the Dragon teleport right back out here for Jizuke, though.
Okay, Evil Genius is trying to make a move after 100 Thieves spin a bunch of cooldowns there in the mid lane. They catch the enemy support, they punish Huhi, and now, with uneven numbers across the map, it's Evil Geniuses who can safely take their second Drake of the game. Mundo and Kaisel pick that one up free of charge, free of any sort of worry or concern. Closer's moving in after Jizuke here one more time. There is no ulti available here for the Echo, and that is the second kill of the game for Ryoma.
I don't think he's done either, Flowers. Closer might be on the warpath. He's looking topside. Remember, this is, well, he's got his flashback up for impact, so it might be more difficult to pull off.
Just immediately drop in Rift Herald, aggro the turret with that one. Closer does not have his ulti ready to go here, so they must be careful to make sure they don't just get wombo comboed underneath the turret. They'll just go after the turret here instead, allowing Mega Gnar to transform. He'll continue defending, clearing away the waves. And now the Closer's ulti is back up in 5 seconds. If they want to try this again, they can. Hex Flash also available on the Skarner to go over the wall if that's the way they want to play it, but they're backing off. Closer's going back to farming. Here's another look at how Huhi got picked earlier.
I like seeing that respect on the top side for the dangerous Gnar. But I don't think you need much of a closer look on that pick on Huhi. Just gets fully annihilated there. Nice, slow into stun. And this is Jizuke walking up towards defensive vision. Honestly, they knew that this side of the map was not there. So even though he wants to try and check for the vision, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Really dangerous to go and check that. It's when you get that inkling, oh man, there's definitely danger here. Let's go check it out, Flowers.
Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go figure out what's going on, buddy. Well, what's going on right now is Evil Geniuses finding themselves 2,000 gold behind, but 2 Drakes up. No turrets taken yet so far this game. Has been some plating knocked down, particularly in that top lane where the Rift Herald was summoned, but the plating is only live for another 20 seconds, so probably not a whole lot more value to be found out of that one. Mundo already with the Kim tank completed, despite the fact that he doesn't have the same kill participation Skarner does. His extra farm is keeping the economy of the two rather similar. Closer now completing the Kim tank for himself with that moon plate there in the inventory now. Skarner's itemization in pro play is exactly like Udyr's. He'll go movement speed, but in the top side, movement speed ain't gonna keep Someday alive. Impact's going in for the solo kill with a little bit more damage. Misses the Q. Impact stays alive with a slice and dice. 150 HP, walking away, flashing for the outplay. He dodges the wallop, and that is the Someday special. Getting out of situations he has no business getting out of. Still running out here at 400 HP. Jizuke's coming around from the side. Impact with the flash for the slow on the boomerang, getting the hyper proc. They will bring down the croc, but man, that was a lot of work.
It certainly was. It takes a while tracking down Someday. But in the end, Jizuke is able to get it up there for the kill. Honestly, I just thought that the initial play there from Someday was kind of funny because you get this, all right, I completed my full Prowler's Claw, but what does Prowler's Claw do versus the slight armor from Steel Caps? Able to survive there for Impact, turns Mega, gets all of his extra stats, is able to survive despite the nice flash there, to get out of the 1v1, does get chased down. It's a team game, my friend, and Jizuke was able to, answer for the previous pick that 100 Thieves were able to get on them. This is going to go a long way in evening the playing field for EG because of the fact that they got that second dragon stacking up for themselves, even though they are still slightly behind on gold here, maybe even significantly behind on gold as far as 15 minutes into the game. 2K is a pretty substantial amount. With that extra kill being picked back up and getting that money onto Jizuke to try and fund the first core item here for Echo. Level 11 now, gonna be able to apply a lot more backline threat for EG. Or even transition it into side laning to try and set up some of these dragon fights where your EG are going to be drawing 100 Thieves' attention. That's actually going to be a pretty big setup for them. I wonder if somebody can actually just finish off solo this Herald while they're doing it, though, because the bottom tower is already heavily damaged here by 100 Thieves.
That's hurt.
And if they're able to get the rest of these outers here with mid with a Rift Herald, then it becomes so much easier, you know, for Closer to threaten these Skarner, Chem Tank, Flash, ultimate pickoffs.
Yes, he has his real Flash ready to go. So Chem Tank, Flash, Blue Smite, everything is prepared to make an easy pick. If we're looking at the enemy team, no one's paid their taxes. Not a single person has a QSS. It is a Skarner dream world right now. Easy to make picks, easy to make plays. Bringing back the enemy Mundo, looking to lock Svenskeren down with a shockwave showing up, still looking to take him low, but not low enough. Svenskeren lives through it. Closer tries to go for the pick on the tank, and they are punished. FBI trying to escape now, forces Jizuke to use the ulti to reset position. Closer is killed off. 100 Thieves are deep behind enemy lines. They have overinvested everything for a Mundo, and the investment was wrong. FBI is now stuck all the way back between the enemy turrets. Jizuke's going after him. Impact's going in for a one-man ulti, but the follow-up is there from the rest of Evil Geniuses. Some days try to find something, he'll get one. Yes, it was one, but what was the cost? It was all 4 from 100 Thieves. Don't! Skarner ult! Mundo!
Especially, wait, check the inventories. No healing cutting, no healing cutting. Where's my grievous wounds? No healing cutting, no grievous wounds. Especially with no grievous wounds. Flowers, they can't kill him. The Mundo ultimate just ticking away on Svenskeren as he gets pulled in there, consistently healing up. And then 100 Thieves have overcommitted into Evil Genius territory. Oh my goodness, that sets up their third dragon. That was way easier than we thought it was going to be for them, Flowers. This just takes that previous plan we laid out for them and bumps that sucker up to #1 priority. Now it's even gold footing with the 3-dragon lead. They go right for the Mundo, but guess what, Flowers? He got his ultimate off.
Tanky. He's so tanky.
And then look, FBI is actually turning around. He autoed onto Impact, so they didn't even have good focus fire there either. If you're going to take down Mundo, your only chance is right when he pops his ultimate for the health cost. Maybe you can burst him, but he regens right back up. FBI, I like this little play here. He's like, all right, every man for himself. I'm scrambling up to the top side. And EG decide, all right, fine. You may live, FBI. We're going to go after the rest of your teammates. They will pay the price. And even though Someday does get one counter kill, taking down the Mininar Impact there, it is a huge bag of gold for EG, plus the 3rd dragon for themselves. Now you can just transition into Echo split pushing on side lanes, and Impact on the other side, start to push back into 100 Thieves territory, and you only have to look 3.5 minutes into the future.
That's so scary. The idea of having to deal with Infernal Soul 23 minutes into the game if 100 Thieves do not successfully shut this down with an otherwise even gold state, that is frightening for 100 Thieves. Now, they should be able to grab this tier 1 turret here in the mid lane. A lot of damage finding its way onto Shelly, but not enough, not in time. Oh, it was so close. They had to do a little bit more damage. If they had Svenskeren around to smite it, they may have been able to bring it down in time, but that is all speculation now. The mid lane tier 1 turret will fall, so that puts 100 Thieves back in the driver's seat here. But what do we need to see, Kobe, specifically from 100 Thieves, specifically from the frontliners and the initiators here, other than don't engage on Mundo, to guarantee that they're going to stay in this game and not give away that Infernal Soul here in 2 minutes?
Guess what? This is my age-old secret technology for playing against EG, Flowers. You want to hear this?
All right, what do you got, bud?
Go find Jizuke. You need to go kill Jizuke now! Get a Chem Tank Skarner ult on him. He has not paid his taxes. There's no way Jizuke is paying his taxes, so he has no QSS. Echo could be the target here. Try and get it on him. You've got a Flash and a Chem Tank and a Blue Smite. Echo is pretty slippery, but that's got to be the target. You know, definitely has already paid his taxes. He's an upstanding citizen. You know, he's already in the clear here. Kaisa, that's going to be too difficult to go after. Chapter. So try and get your pick on Jizuke. He does have a tendency for pushing during times where the rest of the team is recalling or, you know, going deep into the enemy jungle, looking for picks for himself. And that's got to be at the top of the game plan here for both teams, honestly, because I think EG are well equipped to actually execute a split push as long as they do keep the rest of the map applying pressure in addition to Jizuke. As I said, Echo is extremely slippery, so even though you may want to go pick him off, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to send a lot of members to be able to actually get that pick and kill. And if you do, EG should be able to punish you. You know, they've got Impact pushing on top side. They should be able to force, you know, Baron threat or at least, you know, tower trade at the very worst.
Well, with the Drake 1 minute and 30 seconds away, we're going to see a lot of shift of the vision down towards this end of the map. Right now, you can see a bunch of wards from EG in the Baron pit. Just keeping an eye on that one, making sure 100 Thieves weren't able to sneak that. But there will be vision wars breaking out here soon. With only 70 seconds, I'm honestly surprised we're not seeing earlier investment already out of either one of these squads. We saw a couple of wards placed down from Huhi, but only just now is everybody showing up and gathering their forces around the site of the battle to come. Let's check in on summoner spells. All 10 of them will be ready to go on the side of 100 Thieves. Ulti's ready to go here as well. On the side of Evil Geniuses, same story. Ultis and all 10 summoners, which means not only are we probably guaranteed a fight, we are guaranteed some sort of a crazy aftermath with teleports and objectives and turrets being traded. This is about to be a bloodbath.
This is a Captain Flowers guarantee. Is this a promise here, 100%?
This or your money back. Even though most of y'all are not paying no money to watch this. If you are, you probably got bamboozled. It's free.
So I get $0 back for my...
You get $0 back, and I'm not even charging any interest. You won't find these deals anywhere else. And right now, Evil Geniuses is looking to find the deal of a lifetime and take an Infernal Soul at 23 minutes. 100 Thieves looking for the chance to stop him. Some days on the flank, but a ward placed into the brush will find his location. Evil Geniuses have control over the river. They have control over the Skarner Spire. 100 Thieves will look to close in here. Remember, QSS's up on both Deathly and Ignar. Both bottom laners of Evil Geniuses have the ability to counteract that engage mechanism coming out from Skarner. Echo Parallel Convergence finds its way into the Pixel Brush, but nobody is there waiting, so not really a chance for Evil Geniuses to make a play off of that one. They continue backing up. Someday is losing Rage. He needs to go back down to the minion wave here, build up a little bit more Rage if he wants to come into the fight at maximum Fury. There we go, a little bit more wards removed. Evil Geniuses still looking to start it. They've got the Drake at 5,000. They're making the call to burn it. They're going in. Nobody from 100 Thieves is close enough. Drake down to 1,000. It's smote early, but it doesn't matter. Infernal Soul over to Evil Geniuses. 23.5 minutes into the game. I am so glad there was no money on the line because I would be issuing refunds all day and night. That was the most anticlimactic soul battle of all time.
Sir, you will be hearing from my lawyer. I want my $0 back today, Flowers.
Well, it's checks in the mail, buddy. Check is in the mail. You can find it in 4 to 6 business weeks.
You guaranteed me action, and that's what I got. All right, as long as I get my check and it better be signed by Captain Flowers. Honestly, though, as much as I was making fun of, you know, a little bit of memeing on Jizuke earlier, it was him who actually pushed the mid wave out and threatened 2 times with this parallel convergence, forcing 100 Thieves to split like that. So I really want to give credit to him forcing this poor positioning for 100 Thieves by applying that pressure with his Echo, getting the mid wave pushing, threatening for that parallel convergence, drawing off the attention of the Alistar. When you draw the Alistar back, that it kind of breaks apart and dissects the 100 Thieves engage. If you don't have Closer plus Huhi going together for that engagement on the Dragon, then EG, you know, you get this situation. No bloodshed, and yet a huge victory for EG.
Those are the kind of victories where if, I mean, you're the winning team, you just shrug your shoulders and say, all right, it worked out, sure. Jizuke and Ignar trying to make a play on Someday, but with Ryoma's teleport, it could turn the other way very quickly. Shockwave only going to find Jizuke. Ignar gets away. Impact has arrived to try to chase after him and keep the fight going. Ready to keep on moving forward. Pulled back by Closer here in the front line. Goes for the wall up. Won't find it. Both top laners take a beating. It's Someday who is absolutely unable to participate in combat any further. Has to go back. Has to heal up. Not a lot coming out of this, but it did cost a teleport from both sides.
Yep, and look at this. EG just going to continue to split push away with impunity here. Impact, yeah, no teleport now, no flash now for the Gnar. Would definitely love to have those ideal situation. But EG still are going to be able to take down this top outer tower, retake full vision control around this Baron, set themselves up for the next 5 minutes really, really easily.
All right. 100 Thieves have got to find something to do, man. Yeah, the gold still looks close, but that Infernal Soul is so much value here for Evil Geniuses. They'll continue scaling up. Mundo with the Spirit Visage, Gnar with the Thorn Mail. Those second items are coming online across the board, even for Kai'Sa, who had to stop off, slow down her build a little bit to buy that QSS. Collector is completed, working on the third item now. Jizuke going after Someday in the bottom lane. Someday still has no ulti. Not sure if Jizuke is fully aware that that cooldown is not quite ready to go yet, but Someday at 2/3 HP, Closer's going in. He goes for the pull, he uses the flash. Ignar gets away with the QSS, but he's still picked up. Nice follow-up from 100 Thieves.
Definitely a necessary pick for them too. Closer now, though, does get slowed.
Closer's very far forward. He ends up dying, so now you've traded jungler for support. Closer sticking around too much, over-committing, sticking around after the play. So much damage down into FBI as Jizuke teleports in, finds instant damage onto the enemy AD carry. Chrono breaks back into the spot of teleportation origination, and he's back split pushing in the bottom lane.
And even though Someday does have teleport, because Jizuke got that big chunk onto Xayah, sends him right back to the fountain, allowing EG to set up on the Baron. Here's another look at it. They did get the QSS plus, jump out here from Ignar, but Huhi follows it immediately with the Alistar combo, picking it up. Closer, though, just because you got that kill does not mean the river is safe. Mundo slow, into Impact, Boomerang slow as well. Definitely with the Infernal Dragon extra damage, just pops him so quickly. Even tanks don't look tanky anymore.
No, it's a real difficult situation when you just get collapsed on by so much damage potential. Kai'Sa having the Collector to finish it off too. It's just easy money there. The game remains dead even in gold. We're gonna have an Elder Drake up here at about 29 minutes into the game, Kobe. We will be seeing lasers flying back and forth, executing people here on Summoner's Rift. And 100 Thieves, you have to fight for this one. We said they had to fight for the soul and they gave it away. Elder Drake is the strongest buff in League of Legends. It's designed to end the game. 100 Thieves will not be able to sit back and simply allow their opponents to take this. We gotta see a team fight here in 1 minute and 11 seconds.
All right, well, the targets are getting very difficult for Closer now. He still does have the possibility of locking down Jizuke. That is ideal scenario. Jizuke does have flash, does have ultimates, so if he's quick about it, he can try and stay away from the Skarner. But that should be Closer's big priority, because with multiple QSSs now bought up from both bot lane members here for EG, that's going to be such high value. If 100 Thieves could actually shut down the Echo. Jizuke, though, doing a good job split pushing for EG, getting more map pressure with the top wave pushing, despite not having teleport.
Evil Geniuses also securing themselves a nice little advantage for the upcoming Elder Drake by grabbing the Scuttle Crab there, so guaranteed vision and speed boost that cannot be dispelled or removed. As Evil Geniuses clear out the mid lane wave, they still have that pressure on top you just mentioned. They're stacking it up on bottom as well, getting both those side lanes shoved out, making sure that if this lasts as one of those elongated stalemates, 100 Thieves will have something to answer other places on the map. They want to make sure that 100 Thieves is feeling the pressure. Closer going for the Hex Flash here, will not be able to close in on Jizuke in time. Remember, the Closer still does not have that real flash ready to go. He used that for the pick onto Ignar earlier that just led to a 1-for-1. Impact will steal away the enemy red buff, so that's another resource EG has for the upcoming fight. And definitely, we'll just start this up with Svenskeren. Elder Dragon is very easy to take down compared to Baron. Impact goes over the wall here, denying the Blast Cone. Closer has no way into the pit besides Hex Flash. If he starts to channel it and then doesn't get any results, okay, 100 Thieves is moving in. Jizuke's got the lockdown, the damage coming through. Someday's already dead before the man was able to ult Jizuke with a reset. Ignar buying time with a stasis to immune the shockwave. Elder Drake down to 100 HP. It is secured. 100 Thieves has done a pitiful job of fighting around objectives this game, and Evil Geniuses are looking to secure a win because of it.
Such good play here. This is why I love Jizuke's Echo and Rise, my two favorite of his champions. played so well right there. Even though he gets Skarner ultimate, he was at full life still, so immediately can ult right back out. EG, not only flowers will they pick up the Elder Dragon, but they get the full combo here of late game Summoner objectives, Summoner's Rift objectives.
Yeah.
Baron plus Elder Dragon. That is game set match.
Yeah, double Uber buff at the same time. Just walk it down mid. Walk it into the inhibitor turret. Walk it into the inhibitor. Trying to fight up against that wall, that ball of stats, is so close to impossible here for the next 2 minutes. Now, the Baron will persist for about 1 minute after the Elder. Elder buff, when you get it for the first time, doesn't last a super long time, so already down to only 1 minute and 25 seconds left on that, but they will use as much of that momentum as they can, pushing down the mid lane here. Closer is trying to take whatever he can from his jungle before it gets stolen away. Evil Geniuses will continue applying pressure here in the mid lane as Closer and Someday regroup with the rest of the squad. Impact will provide that split push threat there in the top lane as Jizuke does the same thing in bottom. Since they have 2 split pushers, the mid lane group of 3 must be a little bit more careful to make sure they don't get caught out. Even with the Elder Dragon buff, 5v3 is bad news, so they'll just play it slow. They're just allowing their teammates to get things elsewhere. 50 seconds remain on the Elder Dragon buff, definitely putting the auto attacks to work here in the mid lane tier 2 turret, taking that one down. 4-2 turret lead now for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, and they can just continue to close slowly here. Even with Elder Dragon timing out in 40 seconds, they've got plenty of Baron to work with. 3 more minion waves, so they collect all of these secondary turrets. 3 waves now up at these inhibitor turrets, calling even the middle push over here for Svenskeren and Ignar to help out Jizuke. Keep these cannon minions just buffed up, and they slowly wear away at the inhibitor turrets.
Okay, mid lane inhibitor turret broken. Top lane inhibitor turret down to 10% HP. Bottom lane inhibitor turret's even lower. Everything is crumbling around 100 Thieves. Elder Dragon around for another 3 seconds. They don't want to fight until that dissipates. There you go. Elder is gone. Closer's got a nice pull. Jizuke is going to be locked down. Immediately resetting now. Damage onto FBI is enough, and the enemy AD carry is already dead. He's trying to make something happen here. They've launched one of their opponents down back into the turrets. Finally, they'll kill Svenskeren. But was it enough? It was only a Mundo. It was only a Mundo the entire time, and Evil Geniuses has the rest of the roster ready to go. Engage coming out from Ignar underneath the enemy remaining Nexus turret. Closer is on the run, but he will do nothing to stand against Evil Geniuses as they take down 100 Thieves.
Welcome back to the LCS, Ryoma. You are delivered a loss immediately at the hands of EG. Really well played by EG here. The early Dragon stacked up so quickly. Jizuke then playing the side lane so well with his Echo, constantly applying this pressure. Only got caught out a single time to a brush gank for them. And from that point on, EG steamrolling.
And honestly, so much of this game comes back to me. If we trace 100 Thieves' troubles, it all comes back to that fight before the 3rd Drake. It all goes back to the Skarner pull on the Mundo, where he gets down to 15% HP and he lives. It's an understandable error. They thought, hey, we have all 5 people here. We'll just grab him, blow him up. No way Mundo is able to survive this. But he was tanky enough to survive it. And as soon as it happens, they're in a bad spot. They overchase. Now all of a sudden they're down 3-0 on the Drakes. The following soul fight, they put up no effort whatsoever. They walk away. Their opponents get it for free. And that's why I was so critical on their objective play, because that just put them in a spot where for the rest of the game, it felt like they didn't do anything. And for 100 Thieves, that one feels rough to have that one mistake of a team fight in the mid-game lead you down such a road to ruin. But for Evil Geniuses, they kept a good hold over things. They didn't jump the gun in any of those Drake team fights. They weren't unnecessarily impatient. They waited for their opponents to screw up. They waited for the good chance to take the Infernal Soul and to take the Elder Drake. And for a squad like this that has high highs but low lows, shoring up some of those lows is a really good sign heading into these last couple weeks.
And this is why oftentimes when I see late season roster swaps, I view it as a symptom of a problem, a deeper problem here, you know, because there wasn't a huge change with bringing in Ryoma here, and 100 Thieves, even though they're at the top of the standings, definitely seem to be struggling with adaptation to the meta and some internal things they do need to work out. We'll see if they can fix it up. Moving forward through this weekend, though, they still have 2 more games to play, Saturday and Sunday. So good luck to the squad.
And with that, we're going to a break yet again. But on the other side, we'll be breaking down that Evil Genius's victory at the State Farm Analyst Desk. See you there.
Can't stop, won't stop till we on top. Quit, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Big threes when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop. On the grind, it's our time, just watch. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Ayy, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Ayy, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We can't be contained when we leave the game. My name will remain. We don't need the fame. You can keep this chain. We broke free so things won't be the same. Nah, on the mission, gotta get it. Let's work. We were raised on the net. I'm raising my net worth, but it ain't about the money. Nah, it ain't about the cause. All that matters is the world knows who we are. Stars. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Know that our time is now. Yes, life can get hard, but don't ever let it keep you down. See, we are all kings and queens and we all deserve crowns. So don't wait. Get up, go out and get it. Now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta get it. Hey, they won't forget us. Made it happen and we all became legends. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. We gotta get it. Gotta get it, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Gotta get it, gotta get it, get it.
Welcome back to the LCS, where, Evil Geniuses has moved to 8-5 with that victory over 100 Thieves. But Emily, I want to come to you first on the big story of the day. It was Ryoma subbing in for Demonte. Thoughts on his first time out on the Rift here in 2021?
So this is where we start off with the it's not Ryoma's fault, and 100T actually lost in kind of a similar fashion to what we saw. One of the things I pointed out, you can see his stats down there. I think he played really well. I think he was really actually surprisingly confident in his lane. I think the big thing with 100T is that something you saw from their game against C9, where C9 focused bot scuttle and started dragon stacking. Dragon stacking has been one of the reasons why 100T have been able to come back in these really long, drawn-out games. And for the second game in a row, we see the enemy team stacking Drakes. And in this entire game, 100T got to the point where they were even unable to set up around the objective to even contest it well. They kind of just had to let it go to Evil Geniuses, which is never a position you want to be in if you're just basically giving up fourth Drake.
I will say they did have some other things that were better than that C9 game as well, such as their early playmaking, which is the other big thing that they've been struggling with. And I was really happy to see a lot more plays coming out of the 100 Thieves squad as a whole team. Here, it's just a 2v2 collapse on this kind of forced Rift Herald and, just some scrapping that they actually play quite well to get onto Impact right as his Mega Gnar times out. During this time, if you see on the minimap, Huhi actually roamed up mid with their bot lane priority and was able to help force Jizuke's flash here And by doing this, it allowed them to make more plays over the map. They're not just following priority around, they're actually making proactive plays. And because they forced that flash out, when Jizuke was, mispositioned a little bit earlier on, they were able to pull off a really nice pincer where they come in from the left and the right at the same time. And this is exactly what the 100 Thieves squad has been missing throughout their early games. They were the lowest kills and assists team in the entire league by a significant margin. These are the kinds of plays they make. To Emily's point, though, they weren't stacking dragons at the same time because they're doing more of these kinds of plays, and they need to find a middle ground still, because I don't even think the dragon stacking is why they lost. It was more that their team fighting in the mid game without the dragons behind them made them even worse.
I do think it's important to note, though, as you just did, that a step up in one area of play and a step down in another with that substitution. But I want to dive into exactly where Mark just left off, Alorum, those mid-game team fights, thinking most notably about 16 minutes into the game around the blue side jungle there. It all goes awry for the side of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, so this fight was just a disaster for them. They blew the Skarner ult, and look at Mundo just soak all the damage, and he's still alive. And he just walks away. Mundo goes where he pleases, and if you build or use that many abilities on something like the tank, the fight is just going to be so hard because we see Impact gets the kill on closer, and then from here on out, it's a 4v5. How could they possibly win? Most of their abilities are down, and they're just on the wrong side of the map. We see Jizuke gets a huge stun over here, gets 2 members, and they've got the Mega Gnar, 3-man Stride Breaker into the ult and W stuns. Just really not well executed by 100 Thieves. If you overextend and use too many abilities on a tank without getting a kill, it's just going to be an L from there.
Oof. The gold graph.
That gold graph is not pretty. 0 Drakes on their Sicey 4 for EG. But overall, I think these are some things that they're going to need to learn to clean up. You can't rely on having, perma priority bot and just Drake stacking to find wins. To Emily's point, like that C9 game, they didn't have it. This game, maybe they could have hard forced Drake more with some of their bot lane pressure, but I think learning to find other ways to win the game is going to be really important. And here, that what happened in that blue pit fight was kind of unrelated almost to all that. Like they just blew way too much on the Mundo without any healing cutting, even an Ignite on their team.
Yeah, and for this team comp to really beat 100 EG is that you really have to have your Xayah ahead, because she is the only one on this team that has enough shred to burst through the Mundo. Mundo has very good magic resistance abilities. His E gives him magic resistance on use, and Renekton is not exactly very good at killing tanks. So the only way for 100 Thieves to beat this team comp of 3 frontline, you have the Mega Gnar, Dr. Mundo, and you have Rel, is you need the Xayah to be ahead, but she just didn't have the damage to get through it.
And to kind of tie all this together, if you're looking at what made 100 Thieves successful in a lot of their wins, because again, this is not like we're being really critical of them, but they're still in a really good position in the standings. And a lot of their successes that we saw early on were through some of these dives. And when they were well executed, when the team was moving well together, they could make a lot of early proactive plays. And if you're going to be playing Ryoma, someone who you're relying on to control mid in a different way from Damonte, who's kind of going to be more pushing out the wave and then going to side lanes and having someone hopefully reset it for him, Ryoma's going to have a lot more control over mid, presumably based on why you're playing him. So play around that. Like again, we saw the Huhi roams to mid. Use your pushing lanes to get priority over objectives and be able to set up team fights a little bit better.
Very solid individual performance out of Ryoma, even in the loss here to Evil Geniuses. Both teams still well within the playoff picture at 8 and 5. We're going to take a quick breather. When we return, it's C9 who's facing off against FlyQuest in Game 3. We'll see you here.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you
When game day is a go, there's a Bud Light there.